Hey guys, Dragonflies here, coming at you with my Rocket deck profile of 2019 post Golden Sarcophagus set, because I do have some one Golden Sarcophagus card in the deck, well actually no, two of them, that I will show you today. I know this is probably all over the internet already on YouTube for the Rockets, for all the new support and everything, but to me this deck's still a lot of fun. So I wanted to do a deck profile for you guys. Let's begin. Starting off with the ones of monsters, I play just the one Innocence Rocket because I don't really use them that much often unless I just need to put a big defense monster on board or use him as link material. That's pretty much all I really use him for. He's still a good one-of for the deck if you need good defense, because he has 22 defense. And as all of Rockets, his effect, if he's destroyed by battle or card effects during the end phase, you can special summon a new Rocket, so it's really useful. Next on the ones-ofs is, of course, every dragon deck you probably ever see will be running at least one copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Everybody knows what he does. Pretty much lets you special summon one dragon from the graveyard and from hand during the turn. It only once that turn, but it still lets you go into the combos with him. It's pretty fun for the deck. Moving on to twos-ofs. I run 2 copies of Exuberator Dragon. He pretty much helps with your combo pieces with the extra deck, especially when it comes to your Link 2s. Pretty much he's an easy special summon. If you control a Rocket, which 90% chances you're going to, you can special summon him from your hand, but you can only special summon him once that way. So it's pretty useful when it comes to the combos. And when he's sent to graveyard, he lets you add a Rocket from deck to hand, even if he's just linked or when he's ever sent to graveyard. Threes-ofs of monsters. I run 3 copies of Silver, just because of his effect that lets you banish from the opponent's extra deck when he's targeted for a link monster. You can destroy him with his own effect, and lets you special summon one from. It lets you banish one from the opponent's extra deck, and then during the end phase, lets you special summon another Rocket. Really useful card to get rid of your opponent's combo pieces in their extra deck. So I say it's a recommended 3 of. I've seen Team 6 Samurai say play it out of 1, which I say is very stupid because they call by the grave and a whole lot of other cards that can negate stuff in graveyard like Bell and the Haunted Mansion. But to me, I say he's a necessary 3 or 2. I run 3 because I go through him like crazy when it comes to big opponents with extra deck. No one's knocking.
In here knocking on shit.
Sorry for my loud cousin. He's being an asshole. Next up on 3s are 3 Magnas. Pretty much you're gonna see 3 copies of almost every dragon, almost every Rocket in the deck because, well, they are really useful for material. You want to play multiple copies of them so you can keep going into the plays when they send to graveyard. Because if you just want one copy of each of the original Rockets, you're not going to have much combo pieces to go into the Guard Dragon plays. But that's up to you guys. You can run it at 2, 1. I run it at 3 maximum because it's just more useful that way. And also it destroys the opponent's monsters when targeted for a link monster. And when it's destroyed on end phase, you already know, special summons a different Rocket from the deck.
Wasn't Gossip Girl? Fucking.
Next up on 3s are your 3 copies of Metal. Of course, Metal destroys all cards in the same column as he is, so he's really good for that. And also, same thing, Rockets, special summon new ones. Next up on 3s, and I say the best tuner for the deck is Rocket Tracer. He is very useful to go into your combo plays with Bullload Savage, Red, pretty much all the cards you need for the deck. He's really good to go into. That and also his quick effect is you could target one rocket card on the board and send it to graveyard to special summon a new one. Even you could also send the field spell too for it, because it has rocket in the word rocket in its text, so that's also very good to use for the combos of Rocket Tracer. Next up on the list of these, and almost the end of the monsters, 3 copies of Otto. He is really good in here just to blow up your opponent's back rows, and also just to get a level 3 out there when you need it, and just to play trickery with your opponent's decks. It's very fun though. I love playing the Rockets. They're a fun deck to play. I think the next deck profile on this list would be either when Dragon Maids come out. I do plan on doing that deck list very soon. Next probably will probably be, let's see, most likely it's going to be Witchcrafters by here soon when I get more of the cards. But probably it's going to be Witchcrafters, just letting you guys know in advance. Next up on the list is 3 copies of Gateway Dragon to normal summon. Normal summon or special summon it to, and you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower dragon type monster from your hand to the board. Also, if your opponent controls a linked monster, he comes out as an easy special summon, so it's really useful when your opponent goes up against Sky Strikers or anything that's main board linking. Moving on to the spells, play 1 Monster Reborn just because of getting Red Eyes back from graveyard, or any other card you need on the board to do combo plays with if you can't get it out any other way. And also to take cards from your opponent's graveyard to use against them. Like any person who plays Monster Reborn does the same thing. Next up, the 2 of spells, 2 Twin Twisters. Just to get rid of your opponent's field spell or back row when it comes to Sky Strikers, Orchest, other Rocket players. Talk to her in a little bit. But yeah, so pretty much it's really good card to get rid of cards. Next up on 3 ofs, of course, everybody knows the playset of Quick Launch, because this card helped me out during the regionals past couple weekends ago at Greenville. This card is not a once per turn card, so you can activate it 3 times in a row if you have all 3 in hand, which you never want to see. That would be bad. But if you do come across having 2, it is also really good to have as a 1 face down and activate 1 during your opponent's and then 1 on your turn, so it's really useful to get those combo pieces. Last of the spells, and I say mandatory 3 of, is 3 copies of Boot Sector Launch. Because I know terraforming, it's kind of a hard card to get, but when you do get it in first hand or second hand, it's really good to come on to. Helps you get those combos out quicker and get more cards to protect you during the opponent's turn if they control more monsters. So it's really helpful, I gotta say. Let's see. Next up will be the trap cards, of course. So traps, moving in to the ones-ofs. 1 Tactical Exchange. This card helped me get rid of Beauregard to go into Rocket Tracer or any other rocket card from your deck directly to the board. because no one's gonna suspect an old card to be played in the new with the new cards that just came out and stuff for it. I play this card because it helps get into Bolo Sword, Bolo Savage, and all that stuff. I don't have Bolo Sword right now. That's why I'm substituting for Bolo Guard to do more reincarnations, because I contribute my back row for monsters to summon them from the graveyard. So technically I play a joke, not really. I play True Draco Dragon Rockets, just a joke. Don't take it for real, guys. Next up on the traps, Magic Cylinder. Had to go old school a little bit. Came with the structure. It helps a lot when your opponent goes to attack you for a lot of damage, especially when you play against Rokkets. That's a big biter. One link turret to get more card dragons monsters back to the board by paying counters. Really useful. And yeah, I say at least run one of it if you guys do. Want to run link turret? It's really helpful when it comes to link summoning. One copy of Executor Protocols. How can I say this? It helps when you have a lot of dark. Technically, all my monsters are dark. But it really helps when it comes to banishing for certain cards. Especially when it comes to having when you need to boost a card, it helps a lot. During the battle phase, because you can banish one dark link monster, and then the monster you targeted for the effect gets boosted with that much attack. 2 Zubs for traps. I run 2 red reboots. The reason why I main board this is because I played against Ultrageist at regionals, and they're trap heavy deck. So red reboot was a good thing to main board that day. I'm thinking about side decking it. I just don't know which cards to put in for the deck right now, so I'm just keeping it in just in case. I also use it for Bolo Guard, just to pop it from the back row to summon a monster, so it helps a lot when it comes to doing plays. Last but not least of the trap cards, 3 copies of Zero Day. This card legitimately is a mind-wiping card for opponents' decks. Like, this lets you target back row, monsters, field spells, anything up to the link rating of the monster you destroyed. So it's very useful. It helps a lot. I say mandatory 3 of. Most people say run it at 2. I like running it at 3 because it's a good card to land on when you have a big Link 4 monster on board. The tribute has to be dark. That's the sad part. I wish it didn't, so I could play it in other decks like Salaman Grades and original Cybers, but what you gotta do. Moving on to extra deck. Of course, everybody knows. Play the 1 copies of each of the guard dragons to go into that extra deck plays, you know, just getting those combos out there during the tournaments and stuff. I say you only need is 1 copy of each. You don't need more than that, because once you go into them, you're pretty much unstoppable unless your opponent has like the new Primal Being card, the Meteor card. You're supposed to summon 5 monsters. But it's an okay combos. That Primal Being, I'm still trying to find ways of getting around him during the deck. Combo plays. But for right now, Guard Dragon's still top 1 link material you need for the deck. For my say it is. It's really useful to play with. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to get everything turned around. Now moving still in the ones of the extra deck. 1 Quad Bolo. I use Quad against myself occasionally because he lets me supposed to summon Rockets back from the graveyard up to a link rating if I destroy a link monster. So I usually destroy Bolo Guard myself. to use against for myself, so I can special summon up to his link rating of 4. So I special summon 4 Rockets on my hand and or graveyard. So it's really useful when it comes to that. Next up on the list of Onzos, Hetero Seal. This card really helps to send cards back to your opponent's hand, and also to go into the guard dragon plays easier, just to get Pisty and LP, and go into the plays with those to start off, and then go into Arcane later. Again, on Tuzos, 2 boosters. This card helps you a lot when it comes to this deck, because when he's destroyed, you can add a rocket back to you from your graveyard back to hand. So he's kind of like Witch Apprentice, dual Chimera, and all the other ones that boost cards. He boosts monsters that I can target with for 500, and when he's destroyed, he adds a rocket back to my hand. So it's really useful for the deck. I say running a mandatory 2 of. Next up, I have my deck in order from low rank to high rank link.
Horses in the back, horse stock is attached. That is matted black, got the bushes black to match. Ride it.
One Flash Charge Dragon. This locks your opponent out of summoning so much monsters that they can't really do much with it. I love the card because I can blow up my opponent's monsters if they normal summon to the zone he points to, so it's fun. Moving on to the Link Force.
Which grinder did you use earlier, Jay?
Oh my gosh, fuck up. 1 Bull Guard, 1 Bull Load, and last but not least, the new Topologic 0 Boros. This card is a help one-way ticket to OTK your opponents, especially when you have a exec protocols to banish Bull Load, boost him, but it also gets boosted by 2,000. A 200 attack for every card that is banished, so he's really an OTK card. He's like the last card you want to go into during the end of the combos, if you get time to. Practically, he's just very useful when it comes to the deck. I like playing him. He's fun. Moving on to the last ones. Xyz, Synchro, and the 1 copy of the Fusion. I run these cards, these 2 for negating, of course. Making my opponent's monsters become 600, and just being a bully to my opponents. This is pretty much what these are for. So, very fun. This deck's very fun combo once you get the combos down. I'll show you the combos another day. Moving on to side deck. For spells, 1 Regeki, 1 Scapegoat. It's just on your opponent's end phase, activate Scapegoat, go into your plays a little bit. Monsters, 1 Bell. This is the card I was talking about. That pretty much locks you from the extra deck from the graveyard. 1 Kaiju, Game and Seal, 1 Kaiju Star Destroyer. Next hand trap, and I love playing this little baby dragon, is World Chalice Guard Dragon. He is a hand trap for links to protect him. I do not play the single monster yet for him, that's why he's in side deck for right now, but I still play him as a hand trap when it comes to opponents who like targeting my link monsters. He's a very useful little baby dragon for that. Next up, since I don't have the rock yet, still playing 2 of of the Green Dragonfall and Spear mode. Still a useful card. Still very fun to piss your opponents off with, if you know what I mean. Next on the list, 3 copies of Ash Blossom. You might have seen these copies of Ash Blossom in my later Some main great deck profile, but today she is now in my Rocket deck and side deck. I don't play my hand traps during the first round of the duel because I like to see what my opponents can do and what they can start off with, and then I side deck the hand traps and all the negations and everything. But that's the Rocket deck profile of mine of 2019. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave down a comment to what deck profile you guys want to see next. Probably my friends might have it. I might get them to see if they would do a deck profile for me. But, yeah. Comment, like the video if you liked it, dislike if you don't. And, comment down below what you guys want to see next. Dragonflies, out.